Good afternoon and welcome to this webinar, Follow Your Competitors and Customers Innovation Strategy. Thank you for joining. This webinar will last around 30 minutes. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Héloïse Naudy. I am a product consultant at Expernova. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat tool in the Q&A tab and I will answer at the end. If I don't have enough time to answer your question, we will come back to you with personalized answers. You can also contact us by email on the following address, contact@expernova.com. How to easily monitor what your competitors are doing and do competitive intelligence. To begin, I will take you through a common use case demonstrating how to use Expernova to monitor the activity of your competitors and to answer your most strategic questions, such as what are the areas of expertise of your competitors? Who are their experts? With whom do they work? And on which research topics? What patent do they hold? What are their latest publications? In which collaborative project are they involved? And who are the other actors of this project? But before starting, let's take 2 short minutes to explain the context. An innovation strategy guides decisions on how resources should be used to meet innovation goals, providing value and a competitive advantage. An innovation strategy identifies technology and markets that the company should better develop and exploit to create and capture value. Every day, new entrants create products and services that can disrupt your markets. In constantly disrupted markets, having a strong capacity for innovation is essential to be able to adapt and maintain a dynamic of growth. In connection with a company's know-how and value proposition, that is to say, its assets, its resources, and its strategic vision, and in view of its competitive environment and market strengths, companies must draw up a strategic roadmap highlighting the relevant areas of innovation that will be their tomorrow preferred growth relays. Customers and competitors are at the heart of innovation strategies. The implementation and effectiveness of an innovation strategy involve anticipating and guiding the reply behavior of consumer and competitors. On the customer side, in a tense competitive environment, most companies are deploying an arsenal of devices to retain their customer and expand their portfolio. Knowing its clients and prospects for being able to assess their present and future needs makes possible to better adapt its product to meet their needs. On the competitor side, today, in most cases, technological innovation influences product life cycles. Thus, not taking into account competitors or customer strategy may have the influence of not controlling the product life cycle. This will create a risk of decreased competitiveness or poor control over your technologies for future generation or replacement products. Succeeding in competitive intelligence is therefore an essential element of the innovation strategy. Today, competitive intelligence is no longer a private domain accessible only to commercial services or business development. Technologies constantly change, and your potential future competitors could be university research centers, startups, or large groups whose R&D projects remain currently unknown to you. Your research and development teams have the necessary skills to identify your future competitors. In this situation, what is your immediate responses? First reflex, you outsource the competitive intelligence and you pay a consulting company. As a result, you received a study in an undefined amount of time, that is to say, ephemeral in time. The problem is it's very expensive and so it's a solution raiser for the big companies. Second reflex, you use Google to perform your competitive intelligence. The big advantage, it's free. But the disadvantage is compiling information takes time, and the risk at the end is to base your strategic choices on incomplete analysis. Performing competitive intelligence is not just about receiving newsletter or analyzing the prices of your competitors. It means looking for detailed information, and this is time and cost consuming. Fortunately, Expernova has been designed not only to help simplify the process of competitive data aggregation, but also to provide you with the most relevant data at the same time. This is what I propose to show you today. So this is the use case for the demonstration. So I head the R&D department of a pharmaceutical group that studies the microbiome, and I want to know what my competitors are doing on this topic. The microbiome is a set of bacteria hosted by the human body. All of these bacteria form an ecosystem that is today the subject of studies for the purpose, for example, of making probiotics. According to the WHO, probiotics are living microorganisms that, ingested in sufficient quantity, have a beneficial effect on the health of the host. I also want to better understand the activity of my clients in order to adapt my product to their needs. So let's move to the Expernova platform. And let's start by running a query. So the first step is to start a search on our research topic, and to do so, you have to enter your query in the search field. Then click the search button to run the query and view the results. The next step is to access information via the search result interface. Let's first take a look at this result interface for this query on the microbiome. So at the top of the screen, there is a header that displays the current query. And below, you can find the 6 pictograms that show you the type and the number of results. So it means that the Expernova platform has identified 69,000 experts that are who are working on the microbiome. In gray, you have the organization, so it includes industrial and academic organization. In yellow, you have the scientific publications that have been identified and that are related to the microbiome. Then in orange, you have the patents. In red, you can find the projects, and in green, the clinical trials. Underneath the header, you have access to lists and graphs. From the different lists, you can access to the list of experts. It means the physical persons who are interested by the microbiome. Below, you can find the list of organizations which are working on the microbiome. And then at the bottom of the screen, you can find the list of the scientific works related to the microbiome, that is to say, the scientific publication, the patent families, the project, and the clinical trials. Before displaying the list of organizations working on microbiome, I would like to show you quickly the collaborative network graph that shows you the network of actors around the subject microbiome. So in this graph, you can see the main interaction between the company and the R&D centers that are working on the microbiome. The interaction can be scientific collaboration or common participation to a project. Each bubble represents an organization. So for example, there is this bubble called Nestlé. So it represents the Nestlé organization. And when you click on this bubble, you can access the profile of the organization, which is displayed on the right side. The more an R&D center or a company has a strong activity on the subject, the more it is highlighted on the graph. Here, for example, we can see that Nestlé and Danone organization have a strong activity on the microbiome and stand out on the graph. So this graph gives us an overview of the network of collaboration of the main actors working on the microbiome, and it allows you to quickly detect who works with whom on your subject and on which application. Let's go back to the organization. So let's display the list of organizations that work on microbiome, as they can be potential competitors. So as we are looking for competitors, we are going to focus on the companies. And so I will display the list of the companies that work on the microbiome by clicking on More. So this is a list of the company working on the microbiome. Please note that in less than a minute, Expernova has already identified for you the main companies that work on the microbiome. At the top of the list, you can find order options. So by default, the companies are ordered by relevance, but you can order them by name, alphabetic order, or by number of projects. You have also some filters that allows you, for example, to target a geographical area. It can be at the level of the continent or at the country. You have also an organization type filter that allows you, for example, to make a focus on the SME and the startup. Then you have the list of the companies. So unsurprisingly, we find at the top the major groups such as Nestlé, Danone, Novartis, L'Oréal, etc., AstraZeneca, etc. So the bottom of the list is a place where you could find any possible new entrants. You can directly open the profile of an organization by clicking on its name. Like this. Let's open the profile of Nestlé, for example. So we find different information, the name of the company and contact information and their website. And then you have the why part here. So this part explains you why this organization is relevant and is in the results. So why Nestlé is relevant on the microbiome. So you have different information. You have different information. First, its experience. So how long has this company has been working on the microbiome? Has it recently published on the subject? So here we can see that Nestlé has been working for 14 years on the subject, and he has recently published on the topic, on the microbiome. Expernova displays also network information. So here we can, access to the collaboration network of Nestlé on the microbiome. You have the name of its best connection. It means the organization with whom Nestlé has the most collaborate on the microbiome. You can see that the collaboration are localized in 10 countries, which show you the influence of the organization. We can see also that Nestlé has participated to 3 projects related to the microbiome. He is currently participating to a project which is in progress on the microbiome. Expernova has identified the 13 labs of Nestlé which are working on the topic. And finally, we can see that Nestlé is currently participating to a clinical trial on the microbiome. So now let's move to the collaboration network to see with which organization Nestlé is collaborating. So here you can easily see with which organization Nestlé collaborates, and even better, you can access the detail of the collaboration. So you have Nestlé in the middle here, and all around you have all the organizations with which Nestlé is collaborating on the microbiome. Below, you have the same information under the form of a list. So it represents the same information, but here the advantage of the list is that you can modify the order by number of co-works, by name or by number of work, and you can also apply some filters. Geographical filters, if you want to target a specific area, and for example, here you have a type of organization filter. For example, if you want to see only the company with which Nestlé is collaborating. So here we can see, for example, the strategic collaboration of Nestlé on the microbiome with Danone, L'Oréal, and Novartis. Then you have some graph here that show you, that give you some information to the network of collaboration of Nestlé. So here you have the repartition per class. So we can see that Nestlé is collaborating mainly with universities and schools. So it's more an academic network. Here we can see the repartition of the collaboration per geographical area. So we can see that most at 47% it's collaboration with France, and at 16% with the United States. So it's a French network mainly. And at the end, the last graph is it shows you the scientific domains from which the co-publication are coming from. Then here, so we can see that Nestlé is mainly collaborating with the Imperial College London. And now that we know that they're collaborating together, we would like to know what they have done together. And to do so, click on Open Connection. And now let's display the form. So you have the connection form between Nestlé and Imperial College London. And so one more time, here we have the why section that shows you why Nestlé and Imperial College London are relevant on our query. So we can see that they have been working together for 40 years and they have recent common works on the topic. In terms of network, we can see that they have been co-participated to a common project on the microbiome, and there is currently a project related to the microbiome. And in the people and work section, we can see that they have co-published 5 common scientific documents, and they co-participated to a clinical trial on the topic. Of course, all these scientific works are clickable, so you can access them and view the details. You have also the access to the common expertise of the both organization and direct access to their co-works. So all these buttons are clickable, so you can access the co-works. Let's go back to Nestlé profile. So we saw the information related to the network. Now there is some information related to the people and works. So Expernova has identified for you the 195 experts of Nestlé who are working on the microbiome. So it's clickable. You can access the list of the experts and access their profile. And below, we can see that Expernova has identified all the scientific works. It means the scientific documents, the patent family, and the clinical trial of Nestlé related to the microbiome. So everything is clickable, so you can access the different works. Below, you can find some information related to the expertise of Nestlé, and you have a direct access to the expert and the scientific works done by Nestlé. Now, so Expernova allows you also to access to the scientific works on the microbiome and to their author, which can allow you to identify potential competitors. Wondering if your competitor has published material on a specific topic? Did he file a patent? Is he involved in the project? So you can access the different works from this list here at the bottom of the screen. So by default, you have the 4 most relevant items that are displayed. And of course, you can access each of these items, whether it is a scientific publication or a patent, by clicking on the title. Otherwise, if you want to access the full list of scientific publication, for example, click on More. Now, this is a list of the publication on the microbiome. So please notice that at the top of each list, you always have all order and filter option. And if you want to access the detail of an publication, just click on its title like this to display it on the right. Let's have a look on the information that you can access on the publication. So you have the title of the publication, the date of publication, the abstract, and the list of keywords, the list of scientific domain, and the list of works that are related to this publication. On the right, you can access two links that allows you to retrieve the publication on Google Scholar, and also, when possible, we try to retrieve the full text. You have the publication source here, the list of the co-author of the document and their affiliation. So everything is clickable, so you can access the profile of the author or the organization to which it belongs. And below, you have a suggestion of publication on the same topics. Would like to show you also an example of patents. So let's do the same operation one more time. We are interested in the patent family. So you can directly click on a patent family to display it, or click on More to display the full list. And once you have the full list, you can apply filter option, and then to select to access to the details of patent families, click on it, on its title like this. And so from here, we can access to the title of the patents, the different dates of when the patent has been filed, the abstract. You can retrieve the patent on EspaceNet. You have the number of the patent. You have some indication related to the international classification of the patent. You have the list of the co-inventors and the applicants. And so everything is clickable. And you can, one more time, you have also some suggestion of patent family on the same topics. So you can do the same for the project and the clinical trials to access them and see, access the metadata in details. So we have seen how to get a global vision of the actors and competitors present on your research topic. So I propose you now to see how to search for a specific actor, for example, a customer or a prospect, and how to study his scientific and technological expertise. So for that, we will go back to the search interface and use the search organization directory. Here. We will have a look at the profile of Christian Hansen, to whom I am a supplier, to better understand its business and therefore to better adapt my product to its needs. So Christian Hansen is an international bioscience company that develops natural solutions for the food, nutritional, pharmaceutical, and agriculture industries. In particular, it produces probiotics supplements. So to learn more about the expertise of a company, you have to use a directory of organization and enter the name of the organization that interests you to access its community of experts, its expertise, its scientific works, and its collaborative network. So I enter the name of the company. From that, you have an auto-completion list that you can use to display the profile of the organization like this. Just click the name of the organization and it is displayed on the right. In the profile of this company, you can access a description of the group and contact information, and you can access its expertise. So here, for example, we can see the type of bacteria on which this company carry out research, and you can access here the community of experts of this organization and detect the most relevant experts on your research topic. You can also access its scientific works. It means its publication, patent families, and the projects in which it participated. And finally, its collaborative network. All this information will allow you to have a better knowledge of the research topics of actors such as your customer or prospect, for example. Knowing the actors with whom we work or we want to work, that is to say, being able to assess their current and future needs, allows to better adapt its product to meet their needs. Finally, a better knowledge of the expertise and network of your customer and prospect will also allow you to improve your prospection by providing you with element of grip that will allow you to get in touch in a timely and motivated way by retaining more easily the attention of your interlocutor. Finally, we come to the final stage. Now that you have access to the relevant information, it is time to capitalize on the knowledge gained. So for this, the Expernova platform allows you to bookmark, export, and share document or profile organization. So you can bookmark profile by using this icon here. You can bookmark organization or expert profile or also scientific works. And you can also export. You can export expert profile, you can export organization profile, or you can export list of expert, list of organization, or list of scientific works. And you can also share with external users thanks to the share feature here in the left menu navigation. That brings me to the end of today's webinar. So to conclude, let's summarize all that we have done. So today we have seen how from a few keywords you can identify the list of organizations working on the microbiome. We have found large agribusiness and pharmaceutical groups that we expected, but also smaller companies that are also interested in microbiome. We saw how to access the profile of your competing companies and follow their research topic through their expertise, publication, patent, and participation in project or clinical trial. That's what we did from Nestlé Profile. We had access to its research topics and areas of expertise, as well to the list of its experts and its work. And above all, we were able to access its collaborative network on the subject of the microbiome. We found that its collaborating network was rather academic with French universities. We were able also to see Nestlé's strategic partnership, in this case with Danone and Novartis, and also L'Oréal, with whom they participated in common projects and co-published. We were able to access the work of your competitors to decide if they can be partner or if they have already competitors. We were able to access the profile of your customer and prospect to better know them, to better adapt your product to their needs. And we were able to capitalize on your research by bookmarking, exporting, and sharing the result. So I realize that the time is almost gone, so I propose you to go to the question. So first question about the database updates. So how often do you update the database? The database is updated each month. And to give you an idea, we integrate more than 1,000 new organizations and more than 500,000 new works by month. How do you rank the list of organizations in the search results? So there are several questions related to the relevancy criteria. So the algorithm to evaluate the relevancy includes a lot of various criteria that are taken into consideration. The algorithm is set to cross-reference the information from large family of content, such as the publication, the collaborative project, the conference, thesis, the patents, web pages, and so on. So in order to explain you simply how the relevant ranking is defined, let's say that the algorithm is combining advanced technique for information retrieval to the following criteria. First, the number of occurrences of the keywords into the document. Secondly, the position of the keyword in the document, is it in the title or in the abstract? Third criteria is the type of document. Each document has a specific coefficient. So as an example, a poster will have less weight than an article reviewed by peers. And last criteria is the date of the document. Recent documents have a higher coefficient. So I take a last question. Can we access the works done by a company? How do we know that a scientist has published or has invented some patent? So Expernova provides you with the publication, the patent family, the clinical trials, and the project done by an organization or an expert on a research subject. And this information can be found in the why. You remember we saw in the people and work section of Nestlé, we had an access to the scientific works related to the topic. So this webinar is now finished, and for the question I did not answer, I will send you a personalized answer. Now it is your turn to use Expernova. If you are not yet a user, please feel free to ask for a personalized demo at contact@expernova.com. Thank you very much for your time, and bye-bye.